All right, so we're going to talk about basic vehicle extraction. We're going to start with the window down. And again, you want to use all your verbal skills, de-escalation skills to get the person to actually comply. That's key. Because depending if you have just a basic traffic stop, how willing are you to push this forward when you really may not need to do it? So let's start with one, if the person's non-compliant, what's he going to do? So I now at this point have a lawful reason to remove him from the vehicle. That's a key part that we have to understand, that I have a lawful reason to do it. And so I may be here, I have his information, I have his driver's license, everything, and I run him and he has a warrant, and now I'm going to take him into custody. So here's a question. Should I be calling for backup? Right? In a lot of cases, you should. But we don't know what the resistance is going to be. So we're going to give you a single officer removing a single person from the car. If there's more than one person in the car, you really need to call for backup. So we're going to show you our basic approach. We come up. Now I'm going to place him under arrest. I've already identified myself, given him the lawful orders. I'm going to say, you're under arrest, you have a warrant. And depending on what he says, I need to step from the car. Oh no, I already took care of the warrant. Big nope. So I open the door. I've already looked in the car. I've scanned for weapons. And the most common resistance is going to be, he will not release the steering wheel. So this is depending on if he has his seatbelt on or off. In this case, he's taking his seatbelt off. So the first thing I'm going to do as I take control is, one, I'm watching his right hand, because that's the hand that's likely going to grab the weapon. But I'm going to control his arm, right? So I'm grabbing here and here first, because if I'm doing something here, he's going to hit me with that hand, right? So this is kind of like a check, right? So I come in and I check the hand, right? But I'm just going to go underneath and I'm going to hook the thumb. And as I pry the thumb back, see how the fingers open? I'm going to grab the fingers and I'm going to rotate them here. This becomes my straight wrist twist. And now I have to decide if I'm going to remove him from the car and cuff him, or if I'm going to cuff him in place. So we're going to first, we'll do just removing him from the vehicle, right? So if I remove from the vehicle, I really have to watch that right hand. All right, I want you to step out of the vehicle, right? Stay in the V of the door, okay? So I'm right here. Bring your other hand on the back of your head, palm back towards me. So I'm here. So why do I place him here? Because I don't want him to turn and run away from me. If we're going to fight, I'm going to push him into the V of the door. So we have him here. Again, make sure that when you go, I'm going to bring my cuffs out, right? Get your cuff set up. Cuff number one, put it on. Okay. Sweep the back, bring the other hand behind him. Put cuff number two. Check for tightness, gauging, double lock. All right. Then I'll walk him back to the car. Next to this way. And close the door. All right, so now he has a seatbelt on. So we're doing the same thing. Again, when I approach the car, I'm coming up, I'm checking, looking where he's at, stay behind the jamb of the door. Now, as I open the door, right, again, I'm checking as I'm going up so that it doesn't hit me with the fist here, right? I'm controlling. Now, notice that he has a seatbelt on, all right? I'm still controlling the wrist. I can control the wrist or the fist. It's your choice. This time I'm controlling the wrist. I hook the thumb, I rotate it, right, into a straight wrist twist. Now, here's the neat thing about cuffing in place. I'm going to cuff him, but I'm going to leave the seatbelt on, right? So I'll put the first cuff on. This is obviously dependent on the size. I'll put cuff number one on. Okay, keep your hand on the steering wheel. Now, if he's going to resist more here, I'm going to have to use this for pain compliance, right? So I want you to lean forward, put your head on the steering wheel all the way forward, bring your other hand behind your head. Good, nothing in there. All right, I'm going to have you pivot towards the passenger side in your seat. Pivot in your seat. All right, bring your other hand behind your back. Okay, cuff here. Now, here's the neat thing about it. Now I can reach across and release. It comes off. He was still in the seatbelt. I let it go out. All right, let's go ahead and sit out of the car here, nice and easy. Support him, watch out for the kicks. Right, now I will do the double check because it was difficult to do there. I'm double checking, double locking. All right, let's walk back to my car. So now I'm going to remove from the car, but the seatbelt's on. So I can see the person cannot bring both hands behind the back. So I'm going to have him come out of the car, but he has a seatbelt on. So again, I come up, I scan, open the door. All right. So here, I'll go to the control position before I have him remove his seatbelt. So I'm going to go here, rotate here. Okay, I want you to remove your seatbelt with your right hand. This is the most dangerous point because if he's going to grab something, I have to be ready to look back behind it so he can't shoot me in the head. So he's going to remove it. We're going to let go of your shoulders. Put that hand on the back of your head. Okay. So now I have to release this to this and let it come over my arm. All right. Go ahead, step out of the vehicle. All right. So this is where the fight's going to begin. If Jeremy starts to resist, we're going to go right into the V of the door, right? Probably into the attack wrap position. But right here, notice I'm close here, right? Get your cuffs out. Stick cuff number 1 on. Sweep the back, bring your hand behind me. Take it. All right. Double lock, check for tightness. All right, and we're gonna step back to my car. Say, watch out for traffic. Close the door behind. So we come up, the person doesn't want to go to jail, but now they've locked the door. If the window's up, we're going into a different situation. Wait for backup because now I have to get the door open, but the window's down, but he's not allowing me to open the door because it's locked. So I'm trying to unlock it. So I come up, and he locks the door. He says, no, I'm not going to jail, but the window's down. So as I go in to try to unlock it, see where he's stopping me here. So I'm going to grab wrist and fingers right away. So as I'm grabbing it, I'm trying to get a hold of the fingers, right? Or if it goes back to here, we just go to the thumb pry underneath it. But here, I'm trying to grab it to where I can get the fingers or even the thumb, because here we're right back to the same position. This is where I'm going to have to do a pain compliance. And I'm going to say, remove your seatbelt, right? And I'm twisting it. I'm ready to move back in case you pull something, right? Let it go over your shoulder, right? So as it comes over here, now the nice thing about this position, and I'll slow down here, is this gives me a little bit of power on the edge of the door jab, right here. So depending on what is resisting, right? I'll bring this off, bring it back. Now here's a little trick. If you think the person is going to fight, it's an option that I can remove him from the vehicle, okay, because now I've unlocked the door. If you step out of the vehicle, okay, it's one out. But you notice what I'm doing is that I'm using the door to control him, right, until he gets out of the car. So that's an option, especially if there's another officer here. I would let him cuff on this side, right, and then we'd bring this one outside the door. So have a seat again. So that's an option. So this door can kind of hold on to his arm. But obviously, if I'm going to cuff myself here, right, I have to open the door. So when you open the door, I would start to go here, right, but I'm going to have to transfer to inside position, get the door open. Okay, bring him out, come on out, keep the elbow high, watch the right hand, put it on the back of your head, move forward, right here. If you want to check or scoop the waistband here, but remember, if he has anything inside the vehicle and he's diving inside, you have to decide if you're just going to break away, draw your gun to your back, because if you're fighting in the inside of the vehicle and there's a weapon, it's hard to control him getting the weapon, right? And now you're trying to fight. So here, we just go through our regular cuffing again, bring it behind, scoop the back. All right, so he's inside the vehicle, scan the area, call for backup. And the team tactics on this would be basically, because 2 of us cannot get in here and move from the car, but we're going to neutralize that there's another officer here, and once I get the door open, he's resisting. The other officer's right behind me, or could even be on the other side scanning the right hand to cover me. Right? Again, covering here, grabbing here, right? Once I get him out of the car, the seatbelt has to come out. Put your right hand on the back of your head, right? Come out of the car, face the V of the door, right? So this is where the other officer is going to come around behind, take control of the hand, and we're going to do team cuffing. I put cuff number 1 on here, and he will control it. So if he starts to fight right here, we're in a better position. So team cuffing is always preferred, but in some cases, if you're going to have to arrest by yourself, just realize that you could be escalating the situation if this person intends on fighting you. All right, be safe out there. Enjoy.